this might be an unpopular opinion, whatever, but I think DeSantis and Trump really clashing with each other is going to become very problematic for the populist movement, because for me, it's just kind of like sitting there watching that, like, your parents getting a divorce and you don't know why. And you're sitting there kind of questioning, why is this happening? And then you're starting to see there's like kind of like a donor war. Yeah. Have you been seeing that as well?
I know why. I've been seeing it for a while. I've been calling it here on the show, saying DeSantis and Trump are going to be going at it. And they are. And you see Trump kind of making the jabs in there.
We saw that all over on the New York Times today.
I love these tweets from Defined Els. Charles Booker on October 7th. On November 8th, Kentucky is going to get a new United States Senator. I'm him. And the next one is WDRB News. Rand Paul defeats Charles Booker, wins third term to U.S. Senate.
Nice.
So,
just back on this original topic, because I think it's important to understand here this larger Republican civil war between the populists and the neocons. Because again, if the Republicans win overwhelmingly today, it's going to be who? Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell that are going to be in power.
Won.
Okay, yeah, not surprised. Sununu is very popular. He did let a lot of people down with some of his policies, but overall, he's a lot better than all the other ones in New Hampshire. That's specifically the race there. But what is Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy going to do? Wag their finger and just implement the same policies as the Democrats 10 years from now? This is why, a lot of people are kind of disenfranchised, being like, okay, we have this red wave, but is this red wave going to do anything? That's the larger question that I think a lot of people are asking themselves.
Well, that is the concern, because typically when people get into power, they find that they don't perhaps like governing. They instead like attacking their opponents. And don't actually tend to get anything done. So that's a concern. But I do think, were we talking about it earlier? Like, they're going to, if the conservatives take Congress, they're still not going to be able to pass any legislation because Biden will veto everything they do. And so all they'll be able to do is a lot of like rhetoric, a lot of investigations, which I do think are important. And it's important to get to the bottom of that stuff. But they're going to come up after 2 years without having made any major changes in Congress. They will have perhaps made major changes in public opinion if they can move fast enough.
And then the Democrats are going to be like, look, they had power. They did nothing with it.
Right.
This is who you want to vote in as president of the United States. Exactly. I think that's happening. And then it's interesting because, again, as you were talking here, civil war within a civil war with now DeSantis and Trump butting heads going at it. Not really DeSantis. You just see Trump just kind of jabbing. Well, he did this a number of times. He did this a couple days ago, called them Ron DeSanctimonious. He did this even a couple months ago after that. And I just see this bigger battle. I did see a lot of people push back against Trump with his attacks. And we see DeSantis not answering back. So how do you see this kind of unfolding? Because I see this as even, more of a bigger battle than a lot of people are expecting it to be.
I think the establishment would love to see those two split apart and then split the base somehow. I don't know how that would end up, but I know if just picture this, right? Fast forward, we're in a Republican primary and you're seeing Donald Trump going head to head with DeSantis in the middle of that primary on the debate stage. Just like thinking about that is like, where does that really go? But is that something? I think this is the question people have to ask themselves, and I know the answer. The answer. Is that something that the establishment would want? Is that something that the establishment on the left and the right would love to see? Is two populists destroying each other and splintering the base so that the populist movement doesn't have the power and the steam that it could have had? I don't know. I don't know where I can't speak for Ron DeSantis. I can't speak for Trump. I just take a look at this and I see it going in a direction where it can become problematic for people that want the country just to be where they believe it
now, the
should
bigger
be.